I've been trying to think about how many bad remotes there were when Elliot and I were in DC. I can only think of 3 bad remotes, really, and all 3 were in the nation's capital. And I think those happen when you try too damn hard. When your ratings are starting to fail, go down, and management is saying, "What are you doing compelling? What are you doing to increase your ratings?" Radio is just like sales, guys. You're only as good as your last show. You're only as good as your last sale, right? Well, you don't know, right? But if you are in the business and you're listening, you know damn well what I'm talking about, and in sales as well. So we were really trying hard and decided to do a Home Alone promotion. Cully McCulkin, the Home Alone movie. So on the air in the morning show, we said, if you would like for us to babysit your children while you're at work and they're home alone, we'll come fix breakfast, we'll come get them ready for school and everything. Now I'm thinking back here in current day, good Lord, what the hell were we thinking? Well, anyway, this family won. I have no idea who they were or remember, but they were all the way out in Northern Virginia. And we got there and the parents were there. We went on the air at 5:30. Hey, this is Elliot and Woodside. We're at the Smith family. And there's these three little rugrats running around the house. And we're going to babysit these kids today. But first, we'll be right back. Oh, God. So we went through the commercial break. And the next time we came on, we said, oh, we're with the parents. Hey, you're leaving now. Don't worry about a thing. We're going to babysit them. We'll be right back to tell listeners what we're going to do. Okay, so we went right back. So what did we do? We cooked bacon and eggs. And during the commercial breaks, I'm talking to, I believe, Marty Wall was our promotions director, or Vivian Vaughn at the time at Q107 in DC. Very foggy memory at this point. And we're looking at each other and I'm saying, what the hell? This is a 4-hour show. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to cook them bacon and eggs and then we're going to read books to them. And I said, oh God, this is going to be the remote from hell. And I will tell you this, it is so damn bad that my memory has totally blocked it out. I can't tell you where it went from there, but all I can tell you is I do remember running back and forth from the living room to the kitchen and talking to the kids, and they were running all around. The oldest kid was only 5. It was like 3, 4, and 5 years old, running around the house going crazy. And it was just an engineer from the radio station, promotions director, myself, and Jim Elliott. That was it. It was the worst. If you ever want time to slow down, do something really stupid and dumb. But my point of this little podcast is, whenever you try too damn hard, you're going to end up with squat. Really. It's not even worth it. So what was the other one? Well, I was working at WPGC at the time, just before I moved down to Atlanta. And I was working with Jeff Baker. And I really don't know what year it was. It was sometime in the 80s, the late 80s. And it was during the cicada, I call them crickets, but it was the giant cicada stampede. Cicadas were everywhere in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. They were on the trees, they were on the ground. It looked like it snowed or rained. Cicadas. Everywhere you walked. I mean, you couldn't walk without stepping on them. Dead ones, live ones. They made horrible, loud noises. And it was weird. It was surreal. So Jeff Baker and I, the guy I was working with at the time, got together and he says, hey, why don't we do a cicada contest? Whoever collects the most cicadas wins a free bug. Oh, okay. Well, at the time, it seemed to be a pretty good deal. So the free bug was a Volkswagen, a used Volkswagen. Radio station didn't have any money, never wanted to spend money. I don't care if they make $100 million a year and net $90 million a year, they don't have any money. So they bought this old junk heap Volkswagen that, it ran, but it was all messed up, looked horrible. but it was supposed to be ha ha ha, funny, funny, funny. Thought we'd get a big bump in the Washington Post or the Washingtonian Magazine or the Washington Star or word of mouth. No, nothing. But we kept telling people on the air, don't forget, keep collecting your cicadas, keep collecting your bugs. And people would call up, hey, I got 3 garbage bags full of bugs. Hey, Anyway, even though I think it was one of the worst promotions, it was more successful than I would have ever thought. We met at Prince George's Plaza on a Saturday, and we had the bug, or the Volkswagen Bug, sitting there in the parking lot, and everything was roped off with WPGC collateral material. And people started coming in at 9 o'clock in the morning, coming over here to this remote area of the parking lot at Prince George's Plaza in Hyattsville, Maryland. And, I kept saying to Jeff, look at this. Look at all these people coming here. We weren't even equipped to broadcast live. No. We were just there. Hey, did you bring your dead animals? Did you bring your dead cicadas? But they were bringing bags and bags. You know those big contractor bags that you buy at Home Depot? Oh, yeah. They were jammed full of dead cicadas and hundreds of bags. The whole place smelled horrible. It stunk. Just a bunch of dead bugs. And I don't know, the person that won probably had about 10 truckloads of cicada bugs that he'd raked up out of neighbors' yards and everywhere else. And because of that, we gave him the free Volkswagen Bug. We got, when you give something away, when a contest winner wins a prize, you say, hey, what do you think about that? Are you excited about that? Yep, sure am. Yeah, well, what are you going to do with the Volkswagen? I don't know, probably sell it. That's not the kind of response you need when you play this on the radio. You've been building it up to a climax for, I don't know how long, 30 days, 40 days. And that's the response you get. We couldn't even use it on the air. So I just said, give them the damn Volkswagen Bug and let's get the hell out of here. And Baker said, well, who's going to clean up all of this mess? And I said, I'll be damned if I know. So we probably left, I don't know, 4 tons of dead cicada bugs. And then we got in the news for not cleaning up our mess. So I guess you could say it was a somewhat successful promotion because it created word of mouth, but it was all negative word of mouth, like, what the hell were you idiots doing? You should have gone to Prince George's Plaza, the mall people, and said, hey, we're going to do this. How do we clean it up when they deliver? We didn't know that they would deliver the bugs and keep them, right? Anyway, enough of that. It sucked. It was horrible. So the other one was when Elliott and Woodside were at Q107, we had a 5-year, $1 million contract with ABC Radio. And it was big, and I'll tell you more about that later. And we had a lot of help from the promotions department, Marty Wall, Vivian Vaughn, great group of people, great team. But we were trying to figure out other ways to create excitement in the morning show. So I don't know who decided this. Maybe it was me. If it was, I'm a moron. But we decided to broadcast our show live from the Washington Monument. No, not at the bottom, the top. From the top of the Washington Monument. Excuse me. So think about that. Got up at 4:30 in the morning to get there. And our engineering staff was there even earlier because they had to schlep all of this broadcast equipment and transmitters and all kinds of stuff up to the top of the Washington Monument. The elevator was working at the time, so that's good news. So I was running a little bit late, and I lived about 8 miles from the White House, which is pretty much where the Washington Monument is. And I went the back roads through New York Avenue to get there and then into the district. And I'm speeding in the district, and I got pulled over by a DC cop. And the cop really has attitude, which most cops do, right? Where the hell do you think you're going this ungodly hour of the morning? You going to a fire or something? Let me see your license. I said, sir, And as I'm pulling my license out, I said, "Sir, my name is Scott Woodside, and I'm running a little bit late because we're having technical difficulties, but my partner Elliot and I are going to do the morning show from the top of the Washington Monument." He started laughing. He said, "I listen to you guys. And when I heard that you were going to do this broadcast at the top of the Washington Monument, I thought, that's pretty damn lame." So anyway, he was right. He started laughing. He said, "That's the dumbest thing I ever heard of. Nobody can come up there and say hi to you. Everybody listens to you in D.C., and you remove yourself and go up into the tower of the Washington Monument." There was no reason we did it, but to add insult onto injury, it was one of the foggiest days in D.C. during the entire year. You couldn't even see the Washington Monument from where you parked, where they show all of the flags that circle the monument. You couldn't see it hardly. And then as you got up higher, you could probably see 15 feet of the monument, and then it was just a blanket of white fog. So we got up there, and I bring all of my material and stuff I'm going to talk about. Elliot brings all of his stuff. We never talk about what we're going to talk about. We surprise each other, and that was probably the magic of the show. And we get up there, and I'm saying, "What the hell?" We're not on the air yet. And I'm saying, what the hell? There's only one little window to look out of. And the window, well, okay, so I'm 6'2". The window was probably 8 feet total. So you had to get on your tiptoes or stand on a crate, one of the engineer's suitcases, to even look out of the window of the monument. And when you looked out, all you saw was a red light flashing right back in your face. It's the beacon light at the top of the Washington Monument. But because of the fog, it was illuminated. And it was just bright red, boom. Bright red, boom. Bright red, boom. And it lit up the entire little area. We only had an area where 3 people could fit. We couldn't even sit down. We had to stand up for the entire 4 hours of the show. Now you tell me, what in the hell are we going to talk about for 4 hours doing a live morning show broadcast on the #1 station in the nation's capital, talking about the Washington Monument? Okay, we had some lame, facts and figures about the Washington Monument. Who built it? How many stones are in it? Why was it built? How tall is it? How does it compare with other buildings that are just as tall or taller? 4 hours. Again, if you want to really, really slow down the clock, do something stupid that you wish you had never done, and that damn clock will slow down to where you'll never, ever see the end of that 4 hours, in your brain anyway. It was horrible. Those are the only 3 bad ones I can remember. I'll tell you, if I remember more, I'll let you know. But up to now, the only 3, Home Alone, the Cicada promotion, and the Washington Monument doing a live show there. Oh, I guess there was one more. We did a morning radio show at the House of Pancakes and fed listeners breakfast, which I guess a lot of radio stations have done over the years. But it's boring because you're sitting there sitting in front of 2 microphones trying to talk to one another with headphones on, and the listeners come up and they say, "Hey, I listen to y'all every morning. Hey, could I get me another order of pancakes?" I'm not the waitress. But you have to be nice because they are your listeners. They are the ones that helped you become successful. And it's so hard not to say, "Why are you here?" But you have to stay humble because they're there because they really enjoy listening to you. And we did a lot of crazy things, but that just didn't happen to be one of them. So I could put that in there too, a 4-hour morning show at a pancake house. It's pretty damn boring as well. And you smell like bacon for the next day with all of that crap all over your clothes. Anyway, I'm not bitching, not moaning, not being negative, just telling you like it is. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, put a comment. You can do comments no matter where you're listening. You can, if you're on Apple, you can click Apple for comments. You can go to my site, scottwoodside.com, and make comments. If you're on anchor.fm, you can do comments there, and they will all show up, and I could appreciate it. Or you could do one on Facebook, and it will show up on my site. If you have any ideas for guests you would like to hear me interview, and there's a whole pile of them, if you have any ideas or stories that you haven't heard yet that maybe I could be telling, then let me know, and enjoy the rest of your day.